Welcome to Maritime with Seme. My name is Seme Azuna. We'll be bringing you a new entrant in the maritime industry.
We are getting people to realize that maritime does not start and end with the seas.
We'll be looking at the very important transport document.
85% of the Earth's surface is water.
ABC of shipping is the first port of call because that gives you the whole knowledge of what to see.
Nothing done by man is perfect. You can't give 100% where goods are cleared out of customs control.
The key job of customs anywhere in the world is trade facilitation, not revenue drive.
The border has been declared open effectively by the federal government of Nigeria. But fact remains that this lethargy, the border community, particularly the traders, are yet to embrace the fact that the border has actually been opened. In addition to opening the border, the federal government also lifted the ban on the export of goods imported into Nigeria, hitherto prohibited under Item 8, Schedule 6 of the Common Standard Tariff. It is a welcome development. Nigerians have been craving for that. But there are certain conditions attached to that. One of the conditions is that you will pay 2.5% of the present value of the goods when you want to re-export them. And again, you need to get approval from Federal Ministry of Finance before you even come forward to customs to pay the money and export those goods. Now since I resumed here about roughly 3 weeks ago, the complaint that I've received from the stakeholders, when I asked them, why are you not taking advantage of this good gesture from the federal government? The complaint they give is that, one, the time it takes them to go to Abuja to obtain the approval and the resources it takes them is a hindrance. Then, apart from that, they claim that most of the goods they export are actually on transit to a third country besides our president neighbor here, Dera Republic. So, perhaps some of them say they want to transit their goods to Togo, Ghana, Ivory Coast, sometimes Gambia. Now, what happens is that when such goods go to the Republic, they are taxed. So, they pay 2.5% in Nigeria. When they get to they pay percentages that are far high above the expected charges for transit. So, it becomes a hindrance. So, they're not taking advantage of it. So, two things play out here. One, the time it takes them to obtain the approval from Federal Ministry of Finance according to them, and then the double taxation on transit goods, which ordinarily under the WTO Trade Facilitation Agreement, Item 11, shouldn't be taxed. The first thing we've done coming here is to meet with other government agencies here. I've held meetings with them. I've also met with some traditional rulers here. I've met with my counterpart, the co-chairman of the Joint Border Post from the Republic, that's the Commissioner of Customs from the Republic. We've met, we've discussed. Then individually, I've met some of the stakeholders. I've not met them as a group, I've not met them as associations, as it were, as we have them in Nigeria. And some of them have come to me, some of the prominent ones, have come to me to complain about what they've done. So what we're doing now is to first make them understand the federal government policy on transit, Nigerian side. And then when I met with my counterpart in Benin Republic, I also made them understand that there is need for all of us to obey transit conventions as it is with either WCO or WTO or GATT or even ECOWAS, ISRO too. And we seem to be on the same page that there is need to do that. However, just as they implement policy issued by their government, just like we do as customs in Nigeria, they don't have power to change policy. And that is part of what I discussed with all the ministers today, that there is need for the government of Nigeria to engage with the government of the Benin Republic to see how they can iron things out so that the two neighboring countries, custom administrations, will conduct the business of trade. We also feel that besides policy, besides trade matters, the comfort of the people matters a lot. So we are trying to create comfort for them by improving on the joint border post facilities. And it's also an incentive to them. The multiple checkpoints along the Alco corridor, Lagos corridor, particularly on the Nigerian side. There's no doubt about it that these things are barriers to trade. So while we advocate for government to do this, there are low-hanging fruits that we as operators and implementers of government policy can actually on our own take care of in order to ease the pain of the traders along this corridor. I've received formal target as it is for the command about 2 billion naira. Hitherto, before this crisis, border closure, transit being taxed in the Republic, and so on and so forth. The Seme command was in a position then to collect as much as 10 billion, 20 billion for federal government. But then that was when vehicles were allowed to pass through the border. That was when there were no issues between Nigeria and their counterparts in Benin Republic. But now it is actually very difficult. Last year we collected barely 1.6 billion or so, and there's nothing to write home about compared to our expectations. But then it's beyond our control. Customs only collect tax when there is cargo throughput. If there's death in cargo throughput, you can't collect tax. You can't tax the air. The one-stop shop is a concept that demands that rather than duplicate operations between two countries, you have a seamless operation whereby whichever activity I am conducting on a passenger or on goods, that is being witnessed by my counterpart from Benin Republic, who sits in the same office with me in the case of immigration and SSS, and they share documents. So if it's a passport, when immigration stamps the passport after SSS security check, rather than step out of that office to go look for immigration officers from Benin Republic, all of them share the same room. He just stretches his hand and hands over the passport for due diligence. Now, on the part of customs, one-stop shop means that we use the same single-use declaration, single-use administrative document. That is what in the past we used to call SGD. So you put your SAD. The SAD they used to bring in cargo into Benin Republic, they used it to push it into Nigeria and send the same document to me in Nigeria. So I don't need to generate my own document. I use it to release the cargo to the market. The same thing, goods are coming into Nigeria through Lagos. If I take that same document and enter it and pass it to Benin Republic, they are not also expected to do another thing on it. They pass the same goods and the document together. This is the ideal, but it's not happening yet. There have been several meetings in the past to achieve that because customs administrations are going paperless. So we needed to integrate our computer systems to understand each other. There was a project then that I remember we were attending the meetings. It's called Alisa project, Alisa and Pasha project. The idea was to integrate the computer of the entire sub-region, all countries along the corridor, such that if you release goods in Ghana, as it's passing through Togo, through Benin, it's the same document. Until it gets to Nigeria, the same document. This vice versa, if you are moving from Nigeria to Benin, to Togo to Ghana, you use the same document. However, that meeting got stalled because it was difficult to integrate our sites, our IT component. Of course, question is how do you integrate Benin Republic, who speaks French, and Nigeria. How do you integrate an economy whose GDP is somehow and one that is somehow? So if we still take a long time, lots of negotiation, bilateral meetings, before we can really reach proper agreement on how to achieve that. On the part of the customer administration, one thing that is prominent in the heart of this present administration is developing infrastructure for personnel. As you can see, we are the last point of the country, the last frontier. Getting accommodation here is not easy. So they are building lots of barracks for us and they're renovating the old ones. But besides that, the best motivation you can give to officers is to once in a while talk to them and encourage them, which is what we are doing here. The other aspect is we have a clinic here. We have opportunities to have vehicles to work with, even though we will still ask for more if they can give us. Salaries of officers are being paid as at when due. These are the motivations that officers need. This is the assistance the government is giving to us. We don't expect anything extraordinary because our salaries are being paid. However, we expect that we can get more manpower. The borders in Nigeria are always vast. Activities always keep multiplying. So the number of personnel you have sometimes won't go around for you to take full charge of certain environment. So one of the things that I will say that I will really require from headquarters is deployment of more junior officers to us.